Welcome everyone to Already Cancelled. I am Peter, that is Tara, and we are here today to talk about the Twilight Zone Season 3, Episode 24. It's called To Serve Man. So, full spoilers for the episode as always. This is one of the more famous episodes, which gets brought up a lot. The new show, which thankfully got cancelled, but the new show did have a callback episode to this one, which starts with a man who is in an alien cell on a ship. He's refusing to eat, he's very disgruntled, and then he kind of starts to narrate about how we came to this situation, like what happened, and basically tells the story of first contact with this alien race, and how this alien race showed up and said, hey, we just want to help, we just want to... That is really loud. What the hell?
It's the leather seat. I think it's fake leather.
I can't tell you...
I made one movement and it sounded like a fart, so I had to keep going, so everyone knew it was the chair and not me.
I can't, because we're not doing the usual two recording audio, I can't turn you down, so that's just there. I can't do anything about it.
Yes, I'm in a hotel right now, that's why it's different. This is not my new apartment.
Right, stay still. No moving allowed.
Okay, I'm good.
So yes, he tells a story of first contact with this alien race who want to, or claim to, just want to help and solve all of Earth's problems. You know, fix famine, fix war, which, you know, peace being the outcome of that, and various other things. And it's just about us being kind of skeptical and being like, well, you know, should we trust? You know, the United Nations are all together and they're kind of questioning this alien who's got this big head prosthetic on, and yeah, and then there's of course the twist ending, which after, and this is the thing, the episode makes it very clear they shouldn't trust the aliens, because the opening tells us this goes bad, and the narrator, and not Rod, because this is the weird thing about this episode, is that the character narrates, but then Rod also does his opening and closing narration, so we got double narrations going on. But it makes it very clear at the start, no, this is a story about how we shouldn't have trusted them, so we know it's going to end in a negative way. We're just kind of like slowly saying, oh, they do give in, they do kind of accept this peace, and they accept the offer for the help and everything. And human beings even start, you know, taking like long trips to their planet as a sort of exchange. And then, of course, we get hit with the twist towards the end of the episode, which is all to do with a book that the alien had on him when he was trying to make his case. He speaks telepathically to everyone, and they basically, when they were first doubtful of their intentions, the humans were trying to figure out and translate this book to see what it actually said. And it was very difficult. And the only thing they got to translate whilst this period of time was happening was the title, which was To Serve Man, the title of the episode. And it's not until the last minute, when our main character is getting on the spaceship to go and visit their planet, where she shows up and just yells at him, I translated more of the book, don't get on the ship. It's a cookbook. That's the twist.
It's a cookbook.
It's a cookbook.
Yeah. You have not seen this episode before.
No, I didn't know what the twist was. I knew they weren't to be trusted, but
right.
I did not know that To Serve Man was going to be a play on words, and that it literally meant to serve man as an hors d'oeuvre, or a main course, or whatever it may be. So,
did you giggle?
I laughed a little bit. It's a funny twist. It's a funny
especially
one.
If you rewatch the episode, or just think about, like, everybody's like, humans are all getting on the scale before they go onto the ship, and seemingly because, you know, the ship has a weight limit, but really, like, the Canamite's like smiling when someone is like particularly heavy. It's dark, funny.
And they even try and make our main character eat. Like, they get mad that he's not eating anything, and they're like, hey, you have not consumed enough, Mr. Whatever. Here's more food.
Yeah. It plays from the very beginning, with the exception of the intro, that they are genuinely here to help. It's like a Day the Earth Stood Still storyline. Like, you know, humanity's at a crossroads right now, and we've already been through this stage, so we're here to help you. And they do nothing but prove themselves over and over again that they are actually here to end war and get humans.
That is because that is because if you're a farmer, you don't want your pigs to
You
be
don't
at
want your
war.
stock to,
Yeah,
like-
you don't want your pigs to be fighting. You want them to all be healthy and happy so that you can eat them later.
Right. They want to be healthy, fill them up with antibiotics.
It's funny because when he's telling like what what they're going to do, one of the things he suggests, like, give peace to Earth, is he talks about putting every country in like a sort of invisible dome that'll block anything from coming in or out, and it's completely safe. And I thought, and I guess the argument is that if you're also stopping like famine and you're stopping everything else, and there's no reason for anyone to like be like a dictator. But part of me thought like, but what if one country's really shit and has a dictator, and there's like no way for other countries to intervene if they start treating their citizens like shit? Like that feels like a bad move. But
Yeah, but like you said,
Yeah.
like if there is no famine anymore, then if everybody has what they need, then I mean, unless you're just a straight up anarchist, then why wouldn't you like be at peace in your society?
yeah, it's kind of the core concept of the conflicting thing here in the episode is because what one of these is actually uttered by the main characters. Are we looking a gift horse in the mouth by questioning this? The opposing statement to that is, well, sometimes something's too good to be true, and it's like, gift horse in the mouth, too good to be true. Which one is it? Like, which one is is correct in this case? Unfortunately for the characters in the episode, but much for our humor, it is too good to be true, and they're being fattened up and been shipped back to the
They're just
alien world.
livestock.
What I did think was interesting is when the main character Michael, he's talking to his like assistant or like someone who works with Patty. She's like translating the book. She's the one who figures it out. Is they're having a conversation about how they're both on the waiting list to go to their planet because people are signing up. People want to go and see what it's like. Yada yada yada. And this is just like a time period thing. He mentions, it's just yesterday. We were celebrating that someone went up in a tin can and went around the Earth. But notably doesn't say went to the moon because that hadn't happened yet. But obviously someone had been out of space by this point, and I thought that was just an interesting little, because if you think about it in history, relatively speaking, it's a very small amount of time where we'd went to space but hadn't been to the moon yet. Because for us, our entire life since we were born, we'd been to the moon. That was just the thing that had happened. And there was so much time.
We haven't gone back.
Yeah, apparently that's something that's we're gearing towards a bit more.
Yeah. They've
Apparently,
been saying that since I was a child.
True. I'm not willing to bet that we'll be at Mars by the time I'm dead, but I do think, even if it's not normal to go back and forth, I do think people will be on the moon again before I'm dead. I'll put my foot down and say that's going to happen in my lifetime.
Get on it, NASA.
Get on it, NASA.
Or like private companies that are just going to go past NASA and do it themselves.
I think at this point it is going to be private companies, isn't it? It's going to be
SpaceX and stuff.
I for one can't wait for the final James Cameron film to be shot in the moon. Probably with Tom Cruise.
Probably Tom Cruise. Yeah. If he makes it after his spacewalk.
Yes.
Movie.
And after that, James Cameron will probably die as he's like approving the final edit of this film, and he'll die with a smile on his face because he's achieved everything he ever could have possibly done and set out to do in his life. He'll just have this grin in his face. He'll look like the Joker killed him with the Joker gas. He'll just be like, that's one happy man in death. That's what that is. He's achieved it all. He shot his movie in space.
Peak of humanity.
Peak of humanity. Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, the episode is solid. I think what stuck out to me most about this, obviously the twist is the big thing everyone remembers, is that because of the narration from the main character, sort of like talking back about things happening, and even just the seeing the UFO in the sky, and then everyone starts meeting at the UN to start talking about it. It really, that's more than in most episodes of Twilight Zone, felt like an old sci-fi movie to me in tone at the start. To the point where I was like, this feels weird that this is a Twilight Zone, because this feels like it's going to be like an hour and a half long, the way this is starting.
Well, it kind of just has a big time jump. Like all of a sudden they're getting on ships, and it's post, the Canaanites being there for a while. I think he and his, I don't want to say assistant, because she is the one who like deciphers the code. So she's probably his equal, but she's a woman in the 50s, so probably not.
Yeah.
But she and him are both on some sort of like 10-year wait list, right? To get on the ship to go to Klendathu, and people are already there. they're writing back to their families. Well, we think they are. They might be forged letters.
Did you just say? I mean, yeah, it'll be forced letters because they've been eaten. Did you just say
Clondafter,
you said
yeah.
Clondafter? I was like,
Canamire.
yeah,
Canamites.
yeah. That's Starship Troopers that you've just slotted in there.
All alien names sound alike to me.
I recognize the actor. Well, this is a twofold thing. So the actor playing the main Canamet, I kind of recognized how he looked. It turns out I know him from Happy Gilmore of all things. He's like the big, tall dude from Happy Gilmore who has the nail in his head. For those of you who are at the right age to get that reference. But the voice is not him, right? I could tell it was a dubbed voice. But what was bugging me is I really recognized the voice. I was like, I know this voice. And I was like, I've heard this, maybe even in Twilight Zone. It sounds like a very Twilight Zone-y voice. And I checked, it's actually the genie from early season 2, the one that was in the little antique store.
The couple.
Yeah. That was that genie was the voice of this character.
Right, yeah.
And I suppose it's easy to do dubbing when the person's speaking telepathically. There's no mouth moving. You can just do whatever you want.
Do you think their audiobooks are just another Canamite that's just reading the book telepathically to them?
Can you record the telepathy? Is that something you can do?
Just a silent tape that plays. It'd be funny.
Yeah, I think this is one that is all about the concept. It's all about the twist that it's building up to. But it does it in such a way where, because some episodes I really love because it's such strong character work. Like the one with the piano from a couple episodes ago. I loved that episode, and this episode has none of the strengths that episode did. This episode has its own strengths that are completely different. This is all about the fun, sort of sinister, darkly humorous gimmick that it's got, and it's about building up to that. It's it's obviously it should be trusting, should be there is something really kind of humorous about the idea that we could be someone else's cattle and just not realize that that's what we're becoming. So
yeah.
That is a really interesting and potentially
there's a movie about that. I won't spoil it because we'll watch it one day.
Oh, intriguing.
It's not a good movie.
Slightly less intriguing, but probably intriguing all the same. It wouldn't surprise me if the writer of this was vegetarian or I mean, we wouldn't have said vegan at the time. The word vegan did not exist in the 60s, but it was.
It's like it's a PETA approved episode.
Yeah, because it feels like that's kind of the part of the point of this is to show, as soon as something smarter comes along, we could be on the menu, especially.
Yeah, like one of the arguments for saying that we can do what we do to livestock to have livestock in the first place is because we have iPhones and no other animals have iPhones, so we are like the dominant species because we can do this. We're smarter. Like humans are not equal to animals. We're better than them because we're smarter, which is kind of a terrible way to look at things because if an alien shows up here, they're clearly smarter than us. Then are we, is it just a picnic on Earth for them?
Yeah, I mean, everyone who goes by that argument, every single person who argues that we're smarter than animals, so we have these rights. As soon as aliens show up that are quantifiably smarter than us, do they just throw their hands up and go, "Well, that's us. We've had a good run. I guess they're in charge now." Like, no, they're not going to do that. They're going to fight tooth and nail.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Well, what if everybody? What if they only called them when they were at like 40 years old? Or, so they're post-menopause maybe, so they can't have children anymore. They can't contribute to anything else. They've had a nice life. That's like, what, 50-something, mid-50s? What if they only ate them then?
Would you be happy only having a couple of years left?
Of course not. But these are arguments that we use to justify them.
There was a joke in there that I thought was going to get into trouble, but Tara didn't take the bait.
Well, I wasn't thinking about the way that you intended.
I was implying you were close to that age, Tara.
Yeah, I get that now. Asshole.
Well, just to say the brain's the first thing to go. So I'm going to stop while I'm ahead. I'm already in enough trouble as it is. So I do think the performance from the main candidate is good. The eyes do a lot of talking. I mean, obviously the head does a lot of talking too, but the eyes mainly.
Richard Kyle or Richard Keel? I think it's Kyle.
I would have guessed Keel, because I usually, not always, but I'd say more often than not, the second vowel's the one that's more dominant. But I mean,
I think his name is Richard Kyle, but he's from. I think most people know him as Jaws from the James Bond films. So he's just a giant person with a big jaw.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant as in the shark. He's played Bruce the Shark in Jaws.
No, he's called Jaws. He's just a giant man with metal teeth, and he bites things. That's the Bond villain.
What era of Bond was he in?
I know he's a Moonraker for sure, but I think he's recurring.
Okay. I haven't seen that era. I've seen most of the Connery ones. I've seen some of the Brosnan and Craig ones, but I've never seen any of the Moore ones. So.
Oh, I love Roger Moore era.
I imagine I would hate it just based on my taste with spy things.
Moonraker is one of the worst of the Bond movies, but there's no raping in it, unlike the Sean Connery ones.
That's a fair point. There's a great quote that goes around from one of the original books, and I say great, I don't mean literally great, not in a positive way. Something about the sweet smell of, or the sweet tang of rape, I think is the line in the book. So those books, like, it was there, like it wasn't just the filmmakers being, I don't know, saucy with their depictions.
We won't stay on this, but there's one movie where like Bond is paired with a lesbian and she's super hot, and he's able to rape her out of being a lesbian because he's just that manly. Once she gets in Bond, then she won't want women anymore.
Huh.
Yeah.
Imagine if that came out now.
Oh yeah, it would never happen.
Just imagine.
No. They're celebrated movies of their time. And I would say I'm a Bond fan overall, but like they are very problematic.
Yes. I'm not a Bond fan. Nothing to do with their problematic things, though. I just was never a Bond fan anyway. But hey, so that's the episode. Obviously, we've been veering off a little bit here or there because it's making us talk about various things and think about various things. It's kind of an interesting one in the sense that it doesn't quite have a traditional plot through line in the same way that a lot of the episodes do, where we're talking about, because we have a main character who's looking into the book, but like when he starts narrating and then it's all about the aliens arriving and everything at the UN, we don't actually see him on screen, like in his role in the story for a good, I don't know. I mean, it's also a 25-minute episode, so maybe it's not that long really, but it feels like a long time because it feels like he's not there for the aliens coming and speaking to them. He's not there for them talking about the UFOs landing, because there is a little bit of build up where the there's like a press conference where they say, hey, a UFO has landed somewhere near New York, and then there's reports of other landings, and then it builds up to the alien coming in, and then it tells them everything, and then they give him a lie detector test at one point, which they think works. I mean, they never asked, "Are you planning to eat us?" They never asked that.
That's true.
So maybe it would have worked if they'd asked such a question.
It's a cookbook. It's parodied so much too. I'm really surprised that you didn't know the twist, just from other pop culture.
It's entirely possible that I have seen something that's popped up in, but it never stuck in my memory. So
I remember seeing there's if you play World of Warcraft, in the Orgrimmar encampment, which is the big orc city, you can go to like an area where there are a bunch of orc cooks, and their book is called To Serve Man, which is funny because they're orcs, so they eat humans.
Oh well, I think that about sums up.
I'm sure The Simpsons parodied it.
Oh, of course.
It at some point, like
The Simpsons has been running
Treehouse of Horrors episodes.
Simpsons has been running for 30 plus years. It's parodied everything by this point. Like, there's nothing does not get parodied on The Simpsons. That's just
Yeah.
the law of nature. Yeah. So yeah, the episode's enjoyable. It kind of ends with him miserably in his cell, just eating because he's got no choice, and it bookends the episode. And that's basically it. It is a fun time that left a smile on my face. This is one where it's remembered because the twist is fun, and
yeah,
I think
this is like the Trouble of Tribbles episode of the series.
Oh, I can see that. It's one of those. I remember getting a debate in the comments where someone said that every classic episode of Twilight Zone had a twist, and I disagreed. I'm like, we're working through it right now, and I would say maybe half of them have twists. But there's plenty of great episodes that haven't had twists. Like that's not something that Twilight Zone always has. And not every plot development in a episode is a twist. This was definitely a twist. I'm not arguing this one wasn't, but I think it's because of episodes like this that people have this conception that every Twilight Zone had a big twist at the end.
Sure, yeah.
And it really didn't. Like that piano one, which I loved, wasn't a twist in that. Like that.
Not really, no.
The fact that they got used in him by the end of the episode is not a twist. That's just the natural, direction for the story to go in. Like that's just, of course, that was going to happen. That's not a twist. Anyway, there you go. So Rod came out at the end, of course, to tell us about the next episode. Which now we've critiqued in the past that sometimes they'll put two episodes that sound really similar back to back, and this episode that's coming up sounds nothing like this one. But I did appreciate that Rod threw in, he sort of phrased it in a way like he was talking about food at one point. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. Like the next episode, from a premise point of view, is nothing like To Serve Man, but he kind of made it sound like
right.
Like he had a bit of language just to make it sound a bit like that. Anyway, so the next episode is called The Fugitive. There is no Harrison Ford. It's not that fugitive.
What about Tommy Lee Jones?
I mean, I can hope. Oh, little kid Tommy Lee Jones would be a great thing.
With a unibrow and a scowl.
I mean, what age would Tommy Lee Jones be in 62?
I don't know, probably like 7 or something.
Yeah, he's still pretty. Yeah, he's not that old. He'd be pretty young still. So. Yes, The Fugitive. Jenny and the other kids don't realize that the kindly yet magical old duffer, what word, they play with in the park is really an intergalactic fugitive hiding out till two serious men come looking for him, asking questions that test their friendship. I like the sound of this episode. An alien in hiding from alien bounty hunters.
I like it.
Who gets on with little kids. I mean, that part actually sounds kind of sinister if you depending on how you phrase it. But
well, it's kind of reminding me of will the real something please stand up? Yeah. Will the real alien please stand up?
A little bit of that one we had not too long ago, but the all the old folks home patients. Wanting to be young again. Yeah. So there you go. That said, though, if the old man ends up wanting to eat the kids, then I'll say, okay, fair enough. It's kind of similar to this one.
Rod said something about a secret ingredient with him. My mind immediately went there. I don't know that I've seen this episode, or at least I don't remember it though.
Yeah, that was like I was talking about, where he kind of used a bit of culinary language, mixed in with what he was saying. So, yeah, maybe he does. Maybe he is good. Have we just solved this? See if next episode, by the end of it, it turns out that he's planning on putting these children into his stew.
He's the witch. Yeah.
Then
come to my alien ship of candy.
It's like that van that just says free candy spray painted on the side, but it's like a ship.
But it's a UFO.
Hey, this guy seems legit. This is a completely on the up and up operation he's running with the free candy. Let's go get some candy. We'll have a nice day.
He's got a book that says to serve kids. Clearly he's here to help us.
Oh, I'm going to be disappointed with setting list now. Let's be honest. So that's what's coming up next time. It's Serling's fault. You're right. That's what's coming up next time on Twilight Zone. You can let us know what you thought of this one in the comments. Liking and subscribing helps us out a lot on YouTube. It lets YouTube know that we're worth sharing out. So please do hit those buttons. Tara's going to tell you all about Patreon.
Yeah, if you enjoy our reviews, please check out our Patreon page. It's patreon.com/MalfuzzTV. And if you donate as low as $1 per month, you'll get access to bonus episodes for other shows we do. And if you donate $5 per month, you will get access to these Twilight Zone reviews 1 week early. And you also get Babylon 5 reviews 1 week early. And you get voting rights for other shows. So please check it out. Thank you.
Yeah. And if you go follow Connor on Twitter, you can watch his progress as he, for some reason, is watching through Riverdale. So
People like that show.
yeah, it's like really over the top trash, but it gets really silly. Like apparently Archie's like died and came back to life at one point, which
he's like Neo.
he's like Neo. All right. That is that is Twilight. So thank you once again for watching and listening. We always appreciate it. Keep watching TV in the Twilight Zone.